When you spell it wrong and you hear it both ways.
Wing, 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 this is the police.
Trata que mamate.
Gila Abila. What?
Ernesto?
What? Say that kill me.
Had a whole conversation about someone just dicked us. I almost moved my hands.
Heard it both ways.
What?
They lost me with that one.
From that to this.
Speaking of explosions,
Going from the smallest
perfect-
going from the smallest intentional explosion to the largest intentional explosion.
or no, one of the largest. It's not the largest, is it?
Well, it
Was.
Okay, let her go.
Take it away.
hit me. Guess what? Hit me with your deets.
Halifax is
Canada.
that's the city,
I think so.
and
Yeah.
was it two ships from? Because I was trying to understand how it started, or like what was it? Two ships from two different places, or like were they going two different directions?
Yeah, one was coming out of the port, one was going in it.
The reason the explosion was so big is it was carrying all this munitions and it was carrying kilotons of TNT and stuff that was, and the ships are supposed to be flagged. Like, hey, don't be careful.
Right.
And because of like spies and they were worried about someone like taking it, they were like, oh,
Yeah.
let's run it.
I saw that they were specifically worried about German spies.
Yeah, they
shooting
were
it
like,
down.
let's just run it under the radar. No, it won't be that big a deal. And they were like, oh no, and they, trying to, like, they wasn't intentionally like, we've got all these bombs on board, we've got all these explosives, let's run into somebody. And it
Right.
would, that's something they hit each other at less than 1 mile an hour, and that was enough of a shift for the entire thing to combust. That's what I'm
Right.
saying. Just the
The Mont Blanc, that's what it was. The Mont Blanc hit the emo.
Emo.
Yeah, it's called IMO. Yeah.
Night, oh,
They hit
baby,
it.
night.
I will fall for you.
Dude, it was crazy. That's what I saw. That it was the explosion was felt 270 miles away from where it actually did it, and that Oppenheimer studied the blast and everything about it to help predetermine
Prepare, for what his explosion was going to do.
Right. I mean, he took notes from this.
Write that down.
Write that down. You know what was even crazier is that the tsunami from that
Blast.
that little river like that, it not only did it shove the other ship completely on the other side and beach it, but the tsunami is what like wiped
Killed a lot of
houses
people,
and stuff
yeah.
out. You're like, what the hell?
How big was it? The tsunami?
I don't know, but it was pretty bad.
Did you say something about there possibly being spies, or that they were saying that there was?
No, they were worried. That's the reason the ship wasn't flagged that it was carrying explosives, and they weren't as cautious because the surrounding boats weren't as cautious because normally they run whatever kind of safety precautions, and because they didn't want people knowing that they were carrying a bunch of high explosive materials in case someone went, oh man, let's take that ship and oops,
Right.
back to Germany or something. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's why it wasn't flagged.
It was going from New York to somewhere there, but I don't know why. I don't know if they were just waiting to leave in a fleet. It was all supposed to go to Europe. It was supposed to resupply. It was like a supply run to Europe.
The explosives?
Yeah, all of the stuff was meant to go there to Europe. And because that they're supposed to have a flag. They actually, from what I saw, they weren't even typically allowed to run routes in populated areas like that. Like you wouldn't go to a port like that specifically to avoid this. They wouldn't want them in there around people, right?
But they were.
Because it was wartime, they were just they let a lot of, from again what I saw said they pretty much let a lot of that safety stuff kind of fall by the wayside. They was just kind of like, whatever, get it done. And the other ship was on the wrong side.
What year was this?
1917.
And Oppenheimer studied the blast of that in order to.
It was massive.
It said the one video I was watching about it today said that this girl was getting ready for school and that she was in the house. It blew the door open. It blew her backpack, her coat, all her it literally blew those things off of her body. Just
Off of her?
gone. Yeah, just from the concussiveness, like the actual explosion. That's crazy.
No, I just keep thinking of the Austin Powers,
Hmm.
the steamroller.
Oh my god, the steamroller
He's
is
gonna roll
so
over the guy,
funny.
and that's all I picture with these two boats. They were like, "Oh my god,
Dude.
you gotta stop! We got so much explosive, no!" It was just 10 minutes of just this, and it was like everyone's like, "Oh, I wonder if they're gonna hit. I wonder if
I wonder if that's where they got it from. Like,
oh no,
Hang on, I'm gonna floor it! Watch out! Move! Move! Move!
Careful, Austin. Watch out!
Watch out!
Watch out!
Oh! Let's go! Come on, let's go!
is that the part you're talking about?
yeah,
it's
he's just
gotta
like,
be.
"Oh no!" It's just,
Yeah, everybody kept trying to warn that other ship, I guess.
they just bumped into each other.
And hearing about one of the stories, there was a girl who had, like, seeing some of the pictures was even more rough. People's heads and faces were just like mangled from broken glass and debris. And this one girl, they were going to have to, she was like, between 6 and 10 at the time. The doctor was trying to remove her eyes because they were like, oh, she's going to, this is too much. And this girl's dad was like, well, do you know she's going to be blind? And he's like, no. He said, well, then leave her eyes in. And she turned out to be fine. Like, her vision was fine.
Oh my gosh.
So then when I heard that, I was like, and they said one of the number one things was face and eye injuries that led to death. One girl, and then one girl ended up keeping her eye, and she's like, yeah, I thought there was like, I thought there was debris or oil, because I guess a bunch of oil started raining down. And she's like, oh, I thought it was like oil or jelly or something on my face. Picked up, her eyeball was hanging out of her head.
Ugh.
I guess, again, I think it was because of that boom. Like, I don't know if it was a pressure thing, but they said that was 1,000 people sustained eye injuries. I'm assuming that we're just close there, and it just the bang. And when I heard that one girl talking about they wanted to cut her eyes out prematurely, there was a lot of doctors. The hospital blew up, the school blew up, everything was leveled in the town. So they had a makeshift hospital. So they lost most of their doctors. Any doctors that were there basically had to become on-scene specialists to fix stuff. There was guys that were coming back from the war that were like, this was worse than the war. That's what they were talking about.
I'm
Like,
going
this was
back.
terrible. Like, it looked, he said people were sardined in there, and that it was just limbs and everything was just, it was terrible. And I was like, well, if this guy's trying to prematurely cut eyeballs, how many other deaths were related to malpractice, basically? It had to be a real thing.
There'd be so many.
It had to be at 1.2 miles an hour, and they're just done. That's crazy, and it was that big. And then they talked about the recovery part too. I didn't know this. Every year there's a Boston Christmas tree lighting because Halifax sends them a Christmas tree. I guess it was an old tradition. I guess because of their help, all the help that Boston, I guess, did. Every year they send like a huge Christmas tree, and there's a big lighting around it, and it's a tradition from them. The response to this, you think it was done on purpose?
Like as a thank you. Or...
What was done on purpose?
That there was speculation that there was, but the captain I saw, he got charged with manslaughter, and they acquitted him because I don't think it was his fault. It was realistically it was the other ship's fault.
Okay.
Yeah, he was carrying a heavily loaded ship. He was, yeah.
So the captain of one of the ships,
Was on the wrong side.
that's Mont Blanc.
That was the ship that had all the explosives on it.
Did he survive?
He-
I mean, he was charged with manslaughter,
He had to have lived.
but he didn't. Like, I would in my head, I thought the whole thing would have both them. Like,
Do I have these backwards? Do I have these ships backwards?
regardless of any ship,
No.
I don't care what ship he's
No,
on. I would think that
because
both of
it's-
the ships would have been gone.
It said, see how it said scattered fragments of the Mont Blanc for miles. The other ship didn't blow up.
How? So you're saying like it
Dude.
ran into it and like only one ship blew up?
So it sparked. Okay, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
It's supposed to be your thing. I just got into
I
it.
don't know anything about it.
Are you lying?
He's
What?
lying. Yeah, he's lying.
He said he's lying. Oh wait, what's the question?
How did it go down like that?
Like
I
only
didn't see
one.
any videos. Like I don't.
You telling me they don't have a video? Nobody videotaped this?
In
Pull it up.
1917?
1917, someone was down there.
Yeah, there's
Hold
one
on,
guy
guys.
that's holding the thing, and it goes,
Got it.
My eyes.
dude, he just turns around and got it.
Oh no.
All right.
Oh.
I think I got it.
No.
Dude, that's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
Like, it's not funny, but no, but it's not.
It's not. It's a little funny.
But
It's not funny that the devastation of it, but it's
wasn't cool.
hilarious how slow
It's hilarious that it was two ships that just like, what do we do? And then they boom.
Only one though. Only one.
Well, that's what I don't
I'll
understand.
have to look at pictures, like detailed pictures.
Oh,
See
yeah.
what the
I wonder if they do have
see
pictures.
what the records.
Yeah,
Yeah, they got to.
Of course they do. I had them already pulled up here.
Oh well.
I mean, that was like a whole town.
Oh wow.
Look at it.
Just gone. The
Can you imagine?
documentary-
I wonder if there's even more because like I'm sure that. Okay, let me start over. If they were sending out explosives to Europe, I'm assuming that they have some kind of factory or warehouse that they're creating them in Halifax. Am I right or no?
No, the equipment got picked up from New York.
Oh, okay. So, but I wonder if any of the explosion also created like an explosion on
Like a
land.
ripple effect.
Yeah, like if there's other things on land that were also explosive, and then like the impact also made them like I don't know.
Most buildings within a 3-mile radius were completely leveled. It didn't even have
Leveled.
time to do anything.
No, but I'm saying like if it's ran on gas,
It didn't matter. It was already gone
like
before
you don't
it
think
could,
that it would have
no.
exploded
Nope.
as well and created more of an impact?
I think it just wiped it off the planet. Gone before it could even do anything.
So there was another one. It wasn't like nowhere near as bad as that. Like, casualty wise, it was pretty bad, but it was in the 70s. It was in the town that I was raised in, Waverly, Tennessee. It was a train accident, and it was carrying a bunch of
You were
chemicals.
Raised in a Waverly, like wizards of Waverly.
No.
Are you a wizard?
Are you telling?
Dairy.
Wait a minute. Do you know?
I was just thinking about jury duty, and this guy was making him at night. Dude. He was there, and I'm like, should he be here?
Did he get? You're not supposed to. Do you know where you're at right now?
I like looked at the judge. I looked at him. I looked at one of the bailiffs. I looked back at him. I'm like, you guys see this, right?
How would you go from Eric being a wizard to
Because
this guy?
the way he said, "You're a wizard, Harry." The way he said it. So this guy, I mean, he looks a little sus, but this is what I told Amanda. He looked like I could smell how wet he looked. Dude, that's the best way I could put it.
I was like,
I'm like, yo, I
what?
can smell how wet you are from here. Like it's just that dude's moist for no reason. And
so gross.
I've never seen somebody so moist and also so crusty. Where you going? So he looks a little off, right? And I'm like, whatever. But also like,
Okay, so he explained it that like the clip-on tie.
I'm gonna tell him. I'm gonna tell him the whole thing.
Okay, tell me.
And he's got the biggest glass I've ever seen. Don't care, whatever. Just kind of
He
maybe
was judging a little bit.
I was a little bit because I'm like, if this was my trial, I'd be like, really?
Guy?
This is what we got. Does he even know what's going on here? Just kind of oddball dude. Whatever. Goes to the. He's got a clip-on tie, right? But it's outside the collar. It's like, just take it off, dude. Just take it off.
Take it off, undo a button.
What are you doing? It's something like a 10-year-old would do. I'm like,
You dress yourself this morning, buddy?
well, so he walks by and he's got to pass me. I'm sitting in the box because there was only seats left there. He walked by. It was the perfect snort I've ever heard. He walks by. He goes, and I went just like as he's walking by. Dude, I look back and this bailiff dude was laughing so hard. I was like, so as soon as he said, "You're Richard Harry," I immediately thought of that guy.
That guy popped up in his head.
Immediately.
Glad you could take us on that trip.
So explain to me what happened in Wizard of Waverly Place, Harry Potter.
No, so this one was a train accident. So the train came derailed, and it was like late in the evening. Train overturned. It was carrying a bunch of chemicals because there's a plant the next town over in Johnsonville, like a DuPont plant, a chemical plant. Train went over, derailed, and they got like everyone, all the firefighters, the police department, they got everyone out there, and they're looking because there's like a bunch of houses along. They're making sure everyone was fine, and they're going through and they're looking through the wreckage at 5 a.m. Yeah, so when it went over, it was carrying a liquid, and when it came derailed, the liquid had escaped the canisters and was seeping onto the ground. and was seeping for hours.
So into the
And-
ground.
Yeah. And there was hundreds of first responders out there going, "Oh, let's look around, let's look around." And then the morning came around and the sun came up and it lit all the chemical that was on the ground, and it
What?
Yeah.
So like the heat from the sun, I'm assuming, right? Is that what you're saying? Like it exploded or it caused like it to catch on fire?
yeah, it just ignited it. Like it didn't catch on fire, it blew up.
So
Like
all
pouring
those-
gasoline on the ground and you light it, it just that's exactly what it did.
Did all those people did a bunch of people die that lived along the
16 people.
Yes, boiling liquid, expanding vapor explosion.
Damn.
Hazmat crew, police, fire chiefs. They were there at 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And then they discovered that they were like, "Oh, hey man, one of these has got stuff that's leaking." It was like literally one of the, "Oh, hey man, what's that?"
Damn.
Yeah.
boiling liquid expanding vapor?
A believe.
A believe.
Believe.
Damn, that's wild.
President Jimmy Carter.
Yeah, but that was because of that incident. They changed a whole bunch of safety standards.
That's what it was looking like to say.
It was that explosion that they went, "We got to change the way we handle,
Then that
respond to accidents."
that thing happened in whatchamacallit.
Ohio.
Yeah.
Well, we shouldn't be doing this. Yeah.
And that's not the only one. After this, before Ohio, there was another one.
I wonder what that did. Like also if it seeped into the ground, what damage it did to wildlife or that area.
I don't know because I don't
water.
know if it was it wasn't like someone poured it was like propane
So
type
kind
of it seeped out and it just went on the ground like a fog and like a gas.
Okay.
So it wasn't like someone poured out gasoline and it was
Oh,
like, "Oh, it's getting into our water." It was just it seeped out and you couldn't see it and it went whoosh, and it covered all this because it's just been leaking for hours. And then it ignited.
Somebody went to light up their cigarette. or
Let me
something.
take a quick break. Yeah.
No.
This was in 2005. 2 trains hit each other because someone left a switch open, and it's chlorine. It's chlorine, and the gas it killed a lot of people, a ton of people, and there was nothing you could do to even stop them. By the time people knew about it, it was already too late. Because it completely burned your lungs. There was people from miles and miles away that have still, I don't know if I'm sure some of them are still alive. This is in 2005.
Jeez.
And that have permanent lung problems, because it just burned your lungs. And I don't see the pictures anymore, but there was some factory where as people were trying to get out, it was just doof, 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 they were just dropping. Just couldn't even get out. And
Sometimes you wonder, are certain? Well, I don't think something like that would be done on purpose, and I don't think the one in Waverly would be done on purpose.
No.
But
Yeah, some of that stuff, that was just the one in Waverly
was
was
just freak
negligence. It was just it was well, if that's the exact thing happened now, it would be what's it carrying? What was get everyone out of there.
yeah.
Don't let anyone go in there.
But the one in Ohio, they didn't. They told everybody, "Hey, everything's fine." No,
Come on now.
the fish were dying.
The fish are dying. That's fine. You're not a fish.
No, you're
Get in
fine.
here.
The water's fine.
At this point, but that goes back. This is a full circle thing of how things get reported and who's reporting what. I think that big companies, no matter what, are going to make sure that they're covered. That's it at the end of the day. And government is involved in big corporation, regardless of how you look at it.
Yeah.
They're going to cover whatever they need to make sure they make money. At the end of the day, that's all that matters is they make money. So of course they're going to make sure, "Oh no, it's fine. We got specialists testing this, air testing, everything's done. They go in your house, everything's good." Nah, I don't believe it. I don't believe it for a second.
Yeah. No, that's the thing. I feel like if anything were to happen,
At this point, just get out.
yeah,
Just leave.
because
No,
we
I
have
don't trust them.
we have trains all around us too.
Yeah.
And it's if something were to happen, I'm just gonna go off my gut and think, be
But that's pretty funny that this is also Norfolk Southern. So this and Ohio.
yeah.
Not saying there's a pattern, but there's a pattern.
Kyle, do you know what diesel is?
The fuel?
Mm-hmm. Do you know what it's made out of?
Yeah.
What?
Testosterone.
Oh.
Real men drive diesel.
The reason I asked is because I kind of didn't
Rolling
realize
coal.
what it was until Eric explained it to me the other day.
Oh yeah, we went down this rabbit hole of
What diesel? I was like, what?
I know it has a low flash point or a high. Is it a high? I know you can't just light a match and throw it in diesel and it doesn't always
High.
light. I think it'd be a
how do
high flash point. It takes a lot
So the
to
flash
cause it to
point for
fly.
diesel is way higher than gasoline.
Than gas.
Gasoline is a low flash point, meaning it doesn't take much for it to
Ignite.
You could potentially throw a lit cigarette at gas and it can. But
any
diesel
source
would
of
never
heat.
do that.
Diesel. It's like if you could. That's how we test. Like if someone bring their vehicle into the shop and they're like, "Oh man, it's running weird." We'll take a fuel sample and pour it on the ground and we'll light it with a torch.
See if it's diesel.
And
or
it
not.
doesn't light up. Like you'll hit it and it'll like, and you pull the torch away, it fizzles out. It's got diesel in it. Yeah,
So what is it?
it's a byproduct of gasoline. So
What?
it was this. Yeah, so now it's refined completely differently. But it was this. They refine, they make, and then here's gasoline. What's the crude stuff we got left over that doesn't burn? Oh, well, we can't use that. It's diesel.
It's like the stuff left over. From
And they
gasoline.
found a way to run it. And vehicles.
But isn't it more efficient?
With gasoline, there's X amount, like a percentage that dissipates or like you lose
Yeah.
from gas. Diesel, it's less amount, so like more efficient in that way. But it was the leftover parts or whatever. I mean, am I saying that right?
Yeah.
Like,
Well, yeah, the
gasoline.
byproduct of the gas.
I thought diesel was
manufacturing.
just some kind of other oil. Some like I guess I didn't really think too much into it.
I
But-
think it's jet fuel. Isn't jet fuel basically kerosene?
I don't know. I'm not a jet mechanic. Oh no, I don't know.
Because the
jet
reason
fuel.
we started talking about it is because I was telling him about what Steve was telling us about how there was like that professor that had the thesis on how to run vehicles on a different kind of
Different fuel source.
and how he
Yeah.
came up with that, and then how there was another guy that was, I believe it was in Florida, that he knew of, that it was like an old ugly car. That's what reminded me when you were talking earlier. Old ugly AM. I thought he was saying AMC, but I'm thinking he
If it's
said,
a Mercedes, I'm sure it's AM.
and I thought he
Well, I
said
don't
it was
know.
a diesel Mercedes
But that's the thing now, though.
that he put, but this was back years and years ago in the 70s, I think, or and that he said he put corn oil and he got it to run. They tried to buy a patent off of it, and the guy refused. Then they tried to blow up his boat, his diesel boat, and he said it was an explosion, which shouldn't have happened because diesel doesn't explode. And then we started talking about diesel.
Yeah, you can run a diesel motor off of any kind of oil.
Yeah, as you were saying, and I was like, "What?"
French fry oil.
Yeah,
McDonald's.
in the fuel tank? In the, like, how?
You don't need to be able to light it with any kind of external fuel source, heat source. So gasoline, you have to have spark plugs.
So because of with diesel, it's a combustion thing.
Compression. Yeah, compression, combustion. So it takes the whatever kind of fuel source you put in there, and it squeezes it so tight. And once you reach that certain point where any kind of diesel or any kind of oil, you compress it tight enough, it gets hot, and then it ignites. That's how diesels run.
I didn't know
There
that.
is no spark in there going every time it spits fuel in there. It's compressing the fuel so tightly that that's why diesels have a knocking sound too, because it is very it's not fuel being lit. It's a compression explosion in there. That's why they're loud.
I've been like waiting to say something to you about it. That's why I asked you the other day, do you know what diesel is? And
Via diesel.
I was waiting until we did
Family.
a podcast.
Family.
I was waiting until we did the next podcast to ask you about it.
But yeah, you can
Wow.
you can like those old Mercedes and stuff. You can take and like run like additional filtration systems to catch the debris.
He was like, put in fry oil. He's like, go to McDonald's, get some fry oil.
Yeah, you got any fry oil you can throw out? I'll take it.
He's like, go.
Yeah, but does it run good?
It runs. Like
Does
it's
it
not a race.
run good?
It's not a race car. It runs off of a fuel that you don't pay for. It smells like fry oil. Like it smells like French fries when it's driving.
But you can just do that in any diesel?
Not anything new.
Right, because of all the other stuff
There's
they
too
add.
much. Yeah, some of the older stuff where you'd have to make sure all your fuel lines are
Right.
like you don't want to get anything clogged. That's why the biggest adjustment you have to make on it, like converting it is filtration. Catch all the burn ends on the fries and stuff. Whatever's in there. You think I'm joking? I can see your eyes.
No, I believe you. I can see it more realistic with the older ones than the newer ones.